Hey, you all. I am here in my counseling office and wanted to hop on really quickly because, as you may have noticed, we are talking about the spiritual milestones now on the podcast, on Instagram, and part of why we feel like that is so important. We've talked about the emotional and the social, and David and I would both say in 30 years of working with kids, we have become increasingly concerned about, you all know, kids are developing this really rich emotional language when it comes to feelings, which is wonderful. They're using words to describe big emotions in really great ways, sometimes a little overly intense ways, but really great ways at the same time. We have a great basis for understanding emotions and are leading our kids in that way like never before. And there is this chasm that is developing between the emotional and the spiritual lives of kids in a way in the last few years like nothing we have ever seen. And you all, I think part of what is so important about our faith is we want our faith to inform our feelings. We want it to be the place that when we're spinning and dropping, our faith catches us. And for kids, they're developing this really rich emotional life and language, but their spiritual life has nothing to do with it. And that's why we're spending so much time lingering over the spiritual milestones and why we feel like it's really important to talk about. And we are going to often hover a lot around John 16:33 these days when it comes to kids and faith. You know the verse, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart. Jesus says, I've overcome the world. And I think part of the problem is, as a culture, we have gotten away from the idea of living in a fallen world. Kids and we are believing / promoting the highlight reel. We're talking about the positive things. We joke sometimes about the t-shirts, best day ever and living my best life. Hadn't seen many of those since the pandemic, although I think they're coming back. And, truth be told, I'm living my best life for maybe 5 minutes a day, this side of heaven. And so it feels especially important for kids to understand that things are going to be hard. And in fact, it's interesting that research says one of the best ways to offset anxiety is to predict anxiety. It's going to be hard starting a new school. It's going to be hard, whatever it is that we're about to do. We want kids to understand it. It's why in the book Brave for adolescent girls, I have, I think, 2 pages of, you will never find a perfect friend. You're always going to feel lonely at different times. 7th grade is hard for everyone. When we can help kids understand that things are going to be hard, but they're not alone in the midst of it, I think we're helping set them up to have a faith that really informs their feelings. And I have one family who said, we've taken that to heart so much, we're just saying we're having a John 16:33 day where we know that we're having trouble in the midst of a hard day. Y'all, we want to land in that kind of truth. We get to take heart because of that.